Before you start reading, make sure to subscribe, because this story is the kind that crawls beneath your skin and whispers its truth long after the video ends. I never imagined that the summer I turned 22 would become the season that split my life in half. The me before him, and the me after. It started innocently with my best friend's innocent request. Can you stay at my house for a few days? Dad's been away for work, and I hate being home alone. I said yes, not knowing that her father, a man I barely remembered from childhood, would become the gravitational force pulling every thought, every breath, every moment out of me. The first evening, when he finally walked through the door, I wasn't prepared for the way the air shifted. He wasn't loud, not commanding, not dramatic. He simply existed with a presence that filled every corner of the room, every shadow, every heartbeat. Tall, quiet, wearing the weight of a man who had lived too much and trusted too little. His voice was low, unhurried, the kind that made your name sound like a secret instead of a word. "You've grown," he said simply, and I swear my pulse forgot its rhythm for an entire second. We ate dinner, the three of us, but he barely said anything. Yet somehow I felt watched, not in a predatory way, but like I was being carefully studied, memorized, understood in a way nobody ever tried to understand me. That night, while my friend slept in her room, I lay awake on the guest bed, listening to footsteps moving slowly downstairs. Not wandering, pacing. Controlled, thinking. A man haunted by something only he understood. At around 2 a.m., I came down for water. He was still awake, standing by the kitchen window, the dim yellow light casting shadows across his jaw. He didn't look surprised to see me. "Couldn't sleep?" he asked. "No," I whispered. "You?" His eyes flicked toward mine, calm but burning with something he wasn't saying. "Some people don't sleep," he said softly. "They endure the night." That should have been my first warning. But warnings don't work on lonely hearts. Not mine. Not his. The next few days changed everything. He was polite, distant, careful, but the kind of careful that feels like a fire pretending to be cold. He cooked breakfast, made coffee, fixed a broken drawer, all with quiet precision. And every time he passed by me, his presence felt like a storm brushing lightly against my skin. He never touched me. Not once. But sometimes when I turned unexpectedly, I caught him looking at me with that measured, unreadable expression that made my stomach twist in ways I didn't want to admit. He spoke little, but when he did, his words felt like truths carved from old, unspoken wounds. My friend didn't notice anything. She never did. She was always on her phone, scrolling, laughing, going out with friends. But he noticed everything. When I couldn't reach the top shelf, he stepped behind me silently and took what I needed. When I fell asleep on the couch, he covered me with a blanket so gently I didn't wake. But I woke to the faint scent of his cologne lingering in the room like a confession he wasn't ready to make. And slowly, dangerously, I started waiting for his footsteps in the hallway, for the sound of him unlocking the door in the evenings, for the rare moments he looked directly into my eyes like he was trying to stop himself from wanting something he shouldn't want. One night, around midnight, I found him outside on the porch, smoking quietly, staring into the dark. I don't know why I joined him. I don't know why he didn't send me back inside. But when I sat next to him, he didn't move away. The silence between us wasn't awkward. It was heavy, charged, magnetic. After a long moment, he finally spoke. "You should be careful with the world," he said. "It's not always kind." "I'm not afraid," I whispered. He looked at me then, really looked, and the way his eyes softened scared me more than anything. "You should be. If you're still reading. Subscribe, because the story is about to slip into the part where boundaries blur, where choices twist into something darker and more inevitable." Everything changed on the fifth night. My friend had gone to a sleepover, leaving me alone in the house with him. I tried not to think too much about it, but the truth is, I was thinking about nothing else. I stayed in the living room, pretending to watch TV, pretending not to wait for the sound of his voice calling my name. And when he finally walked in, wearing a plain black t-shirt that somehow made him look even more dangerous, he paused when he saw me, almost as if he wasn't expecting me to be awake. "It's late," he said. "You should sleep." "I'm not tired." A lie. He knew it. I knew it. But he didn't argue. Instead, he poured himself a drink, sat on the opposite side of the room, and turned off the lamp so only the faint blue light of the TV illuminated his face. "Why don't you ever talk about your past?" I asked. He exhaled slowly, a faint smile forming. "Some stories shouldn't be told." "Why?" "Because once you say them out loud, they stop being memories and start becoming prisons." I swallowed. "Are you trapped?" His eyes lifted to mine, dark and quietly burning. "Aren't we all?" The silence stretched, soft but trembling. I could hear the ticking of the wall clock, the faint hum of the refrigerator, the steady beat of my own pulse. And under all of it, the unspoken truth hanging dangerously between us. We weren't supposed to feel whatever this was, but we did, and we both knew it. He stood up after a moment, grabbed a blanket, and handed it to me. "Don't stay up too late. This house gets cold at night." Our fingers brushed. Just barely. But the touch felt like an earthquake disguised as a whisper. He pulled his hand back immediately. Too quickly. Like even that moment of contact was more than he allowed himself. "Good night," he said. But the way he said it wasn't simple. It was strained, controlled, heavy, as if he was saying goodnight to something much bigger than sleep. The next morning, everything felt different. He wasn't distant anymore. He was avoiding me. Purposefully. He moved around the house like someone trying to put walls between himself and something dangerous. And I realized something. He wasn't avoiding me because he didn't feel anything. He was avoiding me because he did. Later that afternoon, he found me reading alone, and for the first time, he couldn't hide the softness in his voice. "You're leaving tomorrow," he said quietly. "Yeah." He hesitated. "Maybe that's good." "Why?" He looked at me then, the way a man looks when he spent nights fighting with himself and losing. "Because you deserve someone your age. Someone with a simple life. Someone who doesn't carry the weight I do." "You don't scare me," I said. "You should." He whispered again, this time almost pleading. The moment shattered when my friend came home early. The spell broke. The silence closed. The walls returned. But something had already changed, something irreversible. That night, as I packed my things, I found a folded note tucked under the guest room pillow. I opened it with shaking hands. His handwriting. Sharp, heavy, deliberate. Some things should never be said out loud, but that doesn't mean they aren't felt. My heart stopped. I read the sentence again and again until the words branded themselves into my mind. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, I stepped downstairs with my bag. He was in the kitchen, leaning against the counter, drinking black coffee like a man bracing for a storm. He didn't smile. He didn't greet me. He just watched me, silent, guarded, as if memorizing the moment. "I'm leaving," I said quietly. "I know." Silence. Thick, suffocating, unbearable. "Thank you for everything." His jaw tightened. "Don't thank me." I didn't understand. He set down the cup, walked toward me slowly, carefully, like every step was a decision. And then he stopped just a few feet away. Close enough to feel, too far to touch. "You think I don't see it?" he said, voice low. "The way you look at me? The way you listen when I speak? The way you try to hide how you feel?" My breath caught. He wasn't wrong, but hearing it in his voice, that changed everything. "You're young," he continued softly. "Too young for someone like me." "I'm not a child." "No," he whispered. "You're not." Our eyes locked. A silent confession passed between us. Everything we felt but never dared to say. Why did you leave the note? I asked. His chest rose and fell slowly. Because some truths crush the people who hear them. Then let them. He closed his eyes for half a second, a moment of surrender carved into breath. When he opened them again, the mask was gone. No distance. No restraint. Only truth. Raw, unfiltered, dangerous truth. I haven't wanted anything in years, he said. Not really, not deeply, not desperately. My heart pounded. But you? His voice broke, just slightly. You brought something back I thought I buried. Silence. A silence that felt like fire. Then why fight it? I whispered. He stepped closer. Too close. Close enough for the air between us to tremble. Close enough for my pulse to echo against my ears. Because wanting something, he murmured, and being allowed to have it are two different things. Who says you're not allowed? His eyes darkened with a pain I didn't understand. Life, he whispered. Experience. And the fact that if I cross this line, I won't be able to go back. I swallowed. What if I don't want you to go back? He exhaled shakily, the kind of breath a man releases when he's inches away from giving in to everything he's been running from. His hand lifted. Not to touch me, but to stop himself from touching me. Don't say that. Why not? His voice dropped lower. Because I don't trust myself around you. The room felt too small, too warm, too alive. Look at me, I whispered. He did, slowly. And the way he looked at me, God, it was enough to break anything inside a person. Then the front door opened. My friend walked in. The moment shattered. He stepped back instantly, the mask snapping back into place. Drive safely, he said, voice steady again, controlled, cold, pretending. I nodded even though my chest felt like it was collapsing. As I walked toward the car, I didn't look back, but I felt him watching. From the window, from the doorway, from the space where something almost happened and almost changed everything. When I reached home, my phone buzzed. One message. From him. Some stories are not meant to end. They're meant to continue quietly, in the people who lived them. I didn't reply. Because some feelings don't belong in words. They belong in the silence between them.